All right, everyone, welcome back to a trade recap. So this is my AUDCAD PB play from yesterday, which resulted in a win for 2%. So I'm going to go ahead and break this one down. Now, this is a bit of a new setup that we are trialing, so I haven't got a lot of data on this one. This is one of the first live positions I've taken, so I'm still refining this. But yeah, I want to start breaking these down. So I've got a bit of a catalog to reference and look back on myself and see what we can improve and tweak to fine tune this kind of setup. So in the group, you can see this is the daily watch list that was posted yesterday for May 18th. And we've got Aussie CAD here called out. So Benny called this one out. He was looking for a 4-hour 200 EMA rejection for a pullback play. And you can see down here once I was out of the position. So that was posted 16 hours ago. And there it is at the time of execution. So I'll go ahead and break this one down. Now I just want to pull it back a little bit to the start of yesterday. So if we're looking at the daily here, what we're usually looking for, or our ideal setup, is playing this continuation further down. So I'm actually looking for a bit of a pullback here and then a continuation down. And ideally we're targeting, somewhere around the daily 50 MA or some recent lows, something like that, acting as support. That's the ideal play that we're looking for, right? And this was the same thing we were watching for yesterday. But what we found is two things can kind of happen, and this is where the PB play comes in. So with a swing position, that would have played out here where we don't actually get a large enough pullback to get involved in the position. So we'd set a swing order and just let price continue to the downside, and that's a bit of a higher time frame play. And then with the intraday pullbacks, sometimes they don't pull back far enough for us to get involved, or they continue to pull back, right? You can't really tell what the market's going to do. What the PB play allows us to do is capture this initial pullback on the intraday charts. So go back here, we sort of hit this little area of support here on the 4 hour. When we mark this up on the Monday morning, you can see here I've got my fib on the 1 hour. And what I'd be looking for is a pullback into this area, rejection of the 1 hour 50 MA, and then a continuation downward. Now, if that's not going to happen, what we can look to do is capture the initial move up here, which is exactly what happened with this one. So I'll pull this out of the replay, but that's initially what we'd be looking for. Now, when it comes to the PB play, we're playing the reverse of this. So you can see we actually pushed down below Friday's close down here. So I was still interested in this. I mean, it potentially could have just kept running, but we had 1, 2, 3 hours of consolidation down here before we had this 1 hour bullish candle. And once I saw that, it was also after the 4 hour close here. Once I saw this candle forming, my initial thought is, okay, we're potentially looking to push a little bit higher, and that's where the PB play comes in. So it might pull up a little bit, it might continue down, it might pull up all the way like it did. We don't know, but I'm expecting some sort of intraday pullback. So that hourly close was right here. So you could have gotten in off this 5-minute candle. This was about 15 minutes before that hourly close. I don't utilize the 4 hour 50 MA rejection like some of the other guys in the group do, and that's probably the supreme setup or the safer setup. I really just like to look at what price is doing, and if this is showing me signs of a potential pullback without pushing all the way down to that 4 hour 200 EMA, I'm happy to get involved. So what I was waiting for was this little intraday high on the 5-minute chart. I wanted to see price close above that. So you can see here, once that hourly candle closed up here, that's when I got involved. And that's kind of the perfect scenario for me, waiting for that hourly to close. It didn't push up. If it went all the way up here, I would not have got involved. I couldn't get the risk reward I needed. I'd have to wait for some sort of pullback to get interested. You could have gotten in down here. That's just a little bit too premature for me personally. I wanted to see the hourly close. Like I said, I'm still testing these. Once we had that initial close, this is where I went live here. And my target, ideally we're pushing these to 0.382 or the 1 hour 50 MA. Because I'm still testing these, I just want to lock in my 2% and then sort of just monitor what price is going to do. So I just marked out this recent 4 hour low here, which we closed below. I was expecting price to come up and react around this area and potentially pull back, and I don't want to give back any pullbacks on a small time frame play like this, so I was happy to lock in profit there. As you can see, we kind of got this pullback, so even if I was trailing a stop somewhere around here behind the lows, I would have been taken out on this pullback here. You would have had to really give this some room to breathe, maybe leave it at break even to be able to capture the rest of the run. But you can see whether you targeted the area I was looking at here for 2%, or you wanted to target 0.382, which would have given you about 2.5%, or you pushed it all the way up to that 1 hour 50 EMA, which probably would have been around here for 3.2. You can see you can squeeze a fair bit of profit out of this play. And there was actually a lot of pullback plays that played out yesterday. I would have preferred to get involved in some of the pound pullbacks and Kiwi yen, but this is just the one that shaped up for me. I wanted to see the 5-minute 50 EMA break. I wanted this high to be taken. The other pairs seemed to run early, and I just couldn't get the risk reward to that first area that I had marked up. If you were looking at pushing these to 0.382 or the 1 hour 50 EMA, that definitely would have played out across all the pairs. So market's moving well at the moment. This was a really, really good setup, and let me know your thoughts below.